Now, back in May, Tim Barford said one of Bristol's biggest festivals was no more after falling out with the council over costs. Now, he vented his anger on Crunch the Week.
Well, the issue for us is there wasn't any negotiation. There was no negotiation, and unfortunately there still isn't, despite indications that, well, clear admissions that that was a mistake.
Now, VegFest and the council have shaken hands, but it hasn't stopped him from moving the event lock, stock and lentil to a private venue, to wit, Ashton Gate Stadium. Tim joins me on the programme now. So you kind of kissed and made up with the council, have you, Tim? Yeah,
pretty much. I mean, it's not easy to admit a mistake in public, especially, and especially when you're the council. But they have. They acknowledged the mistake, and they, following the investigation that was launched after complaints made by myself, you know, to the mayor and to our vegan MPs in Bristol, there has been an investigation, and you know, there has been a settlement. There's an admittance that
it's one of those. To be fair, it's one of those kind of, as I see it, grudging acceptances of mistakes. They say that, you know, only one of your 5 points was partially upheld. That being the important one on cost, presumably.
Yes, that's right. There was acknowledgement that mistakes have been made. That actually there was a negotiable position.
And that was around the communication, wasn't it?
And that's the important part. I mean, you know, for anyone faced with non-negotiation, it only goes one way, and that's not good. Well, for people who haven't
been necessarily following the story, basically they were charging you $3,700, wasn't it, in 2016, and a year later that seemed to shoot up to over £9,000 for the cost of running VegFest, or you pay them.
That was sort of rent, a number of other costs, but you know, this is widespread across. It's affecting all events, as we know. So it's not so much the actual figures; it's more that approach of tripling costs or more. With no negotiation, and the important thing is other events organisers know now that in Bristol, I think we set a precedent that, you know, these things are negotiable. I think the council's response was, you know, I prefer to look at the good parts, which are the bit they did acknowledge and they corrected, which, you know, as I said, that's big.
But too late for them, because you're not going back to council.
No, that trust has gone, really, and we can't really work still with that. I think the response was, as you mentioned, a bit grudging.
Tim, they met you in the middle, really, didn't they? They said, OK, let's settle this whole thing full and final, as they always say in these cases, 6,541.
Yes.
Did they give you an indication that were you to come back to them next year, that's the kind of money they'd be charging? Or do you see that as a
there's no talk of coming back. We've made
No, but if you did you get the idea that actually, no, folks, we actually overestimated, and this is what we should have charged you?
The council, in a response, or the investigation letter, acknowledged the mistake, that we'd been misinformed, that this was non-negotiable.
So that was the mistake.
Some written indication that shouldn't have been transmitted as a message. In fact, it was negotiable. So that's good, because we've negotiated. We accept, as we said all along, that there were some fees needed to be met. But this lack of support, this attitude, and I would say now, I think, well, unfortunately, their response indicates that there's a bit of a standoff. It's a bit of an us and them. And
well, at the time we talked to others,
we should be supporting each other, not having a bit of a grudging sort of.
As you say, back in May and thereon, we talked to Pride, various other big events as well, and others were feeling the pinch. What reaction have you had from some of the others? Have you talked to any of them?
I think there's a general feeling that somebody had to stand up and really make a point. And part of the thing is, you see, I think there's a feeling that perhaps the council might feel that they have events organisers slightly over the proverbial barrel. Now, that may or may not be fair or the case, but it certainly feels like that at times. Now that I'm no longer in that position, and indeed, as you mentioned, we're now at Ashton Gate, so the council and I are no longer working together, so really what I say, you know, I'm free to say what I want. And I have.
So what are you paying Ashton Gate then? What kind
of that's private. But what we've got with Ashton Gate is a business-like arrangement.
Are you getting a better deal with Ashton Gate?
Well, we've got a deal that works. That's the thing.
Yeah. Is it more than you'd be paying the council?
Well, it works for Ashton Gate. It works for us. But it's not just about the fee. It's about the approach and the support behind. And I think the problem we've got with the council at the moment is, although, and this was indicated by their response, here was that, you know, they seem to gloss over some of these other issues. And indeed, I was supposedly not able to prove any of this, according to
a few seconds left. Where is your trust level with the council now?
Good luck to anyone who wants to work them. My trust is now at Ashton Gate and the vegan community, and we're looking forward to putting off a fantastic event next year on the 26th, 27th of May. Yeah. Ashton Gate, superb. Thank you very much.
Anyway, VegFest is back in Bristol. That's the great news for everybody at the festival. Thanks very much indeed, Tim, for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.